Greetings and welcome back to the For Health Scholars channel. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. My name is Dr. Orobosa, and on this channel, I show current and aspiring healthcare management, administration, and public health professionals how to one, quickly and successfully earn their degrees, and two, how to start, build, and enjoy profitable careers within the business side of the healthcare industry. So definitely subscribe and definitely turn on your post notifications. I promise you don't want to miss out. Now, today's conversation is all about how to write a healthcare focused essay effectively. It's important to understand what healthcare research means to the healthcare industry. And through my own journey, I have found that health research is a foundational pillar of the healthcare industry. Through research, we're able to solve problems, we're able to identify disease trends or business trends, we're able to identify risk and even assess outcomes. And when I think about the beginning and days of formalized medicine to date, it is really research that has really helped move the healthcare industry forward. And this is why, as a health graduate student, if you learn how to master the health research writing skill, it really will take you far in your studies as well as make you a prominent healthcare leader. Now, do know when you are writing a health essay or even a research paper, 50% of it is all about understanding the essay or the assignment instructions. What is being asked of you? And the other 50% is about execution and engaging in the essay or research paper writing process effectively with a system. Because I'm here to tell you, research, no matter what industry that you are conducted research in. The research process is systematic and is meticulous. Keep that in mind. And here is my health essay roadmap that I always like to share. And this is something I have used and was really helpful to me. And I will tell you, if you follow this process, you are on the right track to get into A, which many students desire. Now, I always like to give you words of advice. And the best tip I can give you about the research process is to avoid procrastinating. Procrastination can serve as an enemy to your progress, as we Nigerians will say. But more importantly, procrastination is the fastest way to become frustrated and stressed during the writing process, especially if writing is not one of your stronger skills. And that's okay. Just because you're not strong in writing doesn't mean that you can't do it or that you can't get better at it or make it a strong skill of yours, because writing is like a muscle. The more you do it, the more you practice, the better you get at it. So the best way to do that is not to procrastinate. And in not procrastinating, it allows me to share step one, which is to read the assignment instructions more than once. Once again, you do not want to just read the instructions to say you read it. You want to read the instructions to make sure that you understand what is being asked of you, because 50% of the writing process is to make sure that you understand the deliverables. And if you don't understand because you've read the instructions a couple of times, then you need to ask questions to help you understand so that you can engage in the process with minimum stress, but writing effectively. So here's some key things to take note of when you're reading the instructions. First, take note of the assignment due date, because as the title of this paper says, how to write a healthcare focused essay at your own pace, but still submitting the work on time. And the best way to do that is to always keep in your mind when the assignment is due. So this is why procrastination will not help you. Then make note of the assignment deliverables, what you need to execute in your paper. Also, pay attention to the paper formatting requirements and ask. Any resource links that are provided in the paper, do watch them. And I find that as a professor, I will put so many resource links and students will not watch them. And I'm here to tell you that's a big no-no. Most of the times when a professor puts a resource link there, it is either providing you the answer or showing you how to get to the answer. So don't discount it as like, okay, this is a resource that you don't need to look at. 9 out of 10 times, that resource can help you execute the essay or the paper to your advantage. So keep that in mind. And then the grading rubric. And it leads me to step two. Use the grading rubric to draft your paper outline. The paper outline gives you focus and it gives you a strategy on how you're going to write out your paper. And so When I say use the grading rubric, do note that the grading rubric is a very important document. The grading rubric tells you how the professor is going to grade you based on what they're asking. And so on most grading rubrics, it's going to assess your content development. It's going to assess how well you synthesize outside data. It's going to look at your content structure and formatting. It even looks at spelling and grammar. I have not seen any essay type or paper type grading rubric that did not make mention of on how well the student did not include errors or omitted errors in their spelling and in grammar. And then, of course, in the health sciences, we use the writing format of APA. So the social science, health sciences is APA formatting we use. And APA is a writing style that has a technical component to it. So keep that in mind. And in most grading rubrics, it tells you in order to get the A, the B, the C, the D, it gives you the criteria for an A paper. It gives you a criteria for the B paper. And so an A paper is usually distinguished or has exceeded the expectations of what the paper is asking you to accomplish. A B paper or a high C paper is competent. It did a good job of executing what the paper is asking of them, but there's still some errors. Developing is like a low C, even D paper, or intermediate is a low C or D paper, and does not meet expectations, or novice is an F. Now, the paper outline, if you are like, I want an A on my paper, you want to make sure that your paper outline is reflective of the distinguished or exceeds expectation side of the grading rubric. To be exceeding expectations, not only did you include the minimum of 6 reference articles that is being asked of you, you did 12. And not only did you use 12, because it's not all about quantity, you were able to effectively articulate how this outside research was able to support your ideas and your topics in the essay and to address the deliverables of that essay. So keep that in mind. And then here is a layout for your paper outline that I have found helpful is that the first part of your paper outline, you want to document or draft out what is the essay/research topic. Then you want to draft what is the research or essay question or problem you're intending to address. Third, you're going to draft out the bullet points of your introductory paragraph. So usually introductions can be anywhere from 1 to 3 to 4 paragraphs, depending on the length requirements of the paper. So I'm going to do this based on a 5-page paper. So on a 5-page paper, excluding your title page, excluding your references or any type of appendixes, pages, just 5 pages of content, an introductory paragraph can be 1 to 2 pages. Okay. And you want to draft out each bullet point of your introductory paragraphs. Then making sure you have a bullet point that talks about the thesis statement, which the thesis statement is your position statement in your paper or some type of transitional sentence if a thesis statement is not required. But a good essay takes the reader on a journey. And when they're finished reading your paper, they understood what was the problem, why it was a problem, how that problem was addressed, when the problem was addressed, where the problem was addressed. And I think I'm missing one. The who, the what, the when, the where, the why, and the how that problem was addressed. So you do want to include the 5 W's and the H. So when you take your reader on that journey, they should be able to answer those 6 questions. Then the bodies of your paragraphs are 1 topic paragraph. So you're going to write the points out of that. You're going to write the bullet points for your concluding paragraphs and your concluding statement. And also, you're going to make a list of keywords and intended or anticipated citations or sources. Okay. And the key words are very important, or key phrases, because that helps you find articles to learn more about the topic at hand or to give you more insight on how to write your paper. Which leads to step 3, conducting an extensive review of evidence or literature. And when I say literature, it's just another term for scholarly articles. So scholarly articles are articles that have been published in journals and electronic databases, and they're considered valid and reliable to a certain extent. Now, here are some rules for finding quality evidence, because not all articles that are published are of quality, and you need to, as a graduate student, being able to decipher what is a good article, a quality article rather, versus a non-quality article. And here are some tips to do that. First, you want to use peer-reviewed articles, especially when you're writing health research or a healthcare-focused essay. And usually these essays or research papers are coming from an objective perspective. So it's not about what you believe, but what can be proven. And when I see individuals or students rather using blogs or even Wikipedia, which is a big no, it just blows my mind because I'm like, okay, no, you're already starting off incorrectly. When you're writing research that is talking about healthcare problems, gaps, trends, or solutions, you want to use credible sources. And when an article is peer reviewed, it means it had went in front of a committee of subject matter experts in that field, and they have determined that the material that was written is valid and reliable. And once it has been past that committee, they publish it, you have access to it. Then you want to find articles that are relevant. The rule of thumb, especially in health research or health essay writing, it was when you're referencing outside research to support your topics and your ideas in your paper, that you should be using relevant research. And relevant research is any article that's been published in the last 5 to 7 years. Now, there are some exceptions to that rule. Then extracting the keywords from the articles you found and adding it to your list, because research leaves clues. And so looking at the keywords that are being used, the Boolean operators, which are and not, or, and I'll do a whole nother video on keywords for research, especially for my doctoral viewers or master student viewers as well. And then access full text articles, because you're going to need to read these articles to gather a full understanding of what that paper was all about, and make sure the abstract statement is available. Now, there's a strategy in reading research, and the abstract statement is the number one thing you must read, because the abstract statement tells you whether this is an article worth further exploring, or you need to just move on and toss it to the side or move on to the next. Then article management. So depending on how many source articles you need to reference in your paper, because once again, most healthcare focused essays or papers are coming from an objective perspective on a topic. So you need to cite outside research, because you're not the person who developed, let me say, if you're investigating Graves' disease, you're not the person who created Graves' disease. So you cannot talk from the lens as if you are the inventor of Graves' disease. Robert Graves is the one who did that. So you need to reference him. You got to give him credit for his idea, for his work, even if you got the idea from them, because in your paper, you're not copying what they said. You may be paraphrasing what they said and providing your own thoughts, but the idea, where you got that from, you must cite. And then write some notes on those articles that you do choose. So it gives you some remembrance. Okay, why did I use this article? Why did I select this article? Okay, this article supports my idea. This article kind of argues my idea. And a good research paper, let's rather not use subjective terms. An effective research paper that can get you an A, or effective essay, shows a comprehensive view on the topic at hand. It doesn't only have, it's not one-sided, because you don't want to include bias in any of your papers. The only time you can write from the first person perspective or first person tone is if it's like a reflective paper, when it's focused on you. But research or any type of healthcare focused paper is objective. So you want to make sure that you provide a comprehensive view of all sides of the problem, the argument, the stance, the results, etc. And note that every research article you find does not need to be read in its entirety. You have a time limit that you're trying to write this on, but there is a strategy. And today I'm going to briefly talk about it. But in the next video, I'll go over this extensively for reading research to gather information and determine whether it's right for you. And so when you're reading research, here's some things that you have to take note of and will allow you not to necessarily have to read the whole article. The best practice is to read the whole article, but sometimes that is not always feasible. But you can still gather what this article was all about. And then step 4 is to assess and synthesize the articles you found. And you're going to, in this process, eliminate articles for like the final time before you get into the writing of your paper that does not serve to be essential to your research and your paper topic. And then The articles that you do keep, you're going to review the similarities you find across all of those articles and jot that down. And then review the differences and gaps that you found across the different articles and draw your own conclusions about those articles found, because that's going to help you in the writing of your paper. And then step 5 is writing your essay. Now, in writing your essay, do know that paraphrasing scholarly research is key. You do not want to plagiarize. You do not want to copy. As a graduate student, master's and above, the use of quotations should be very slim, maybe like 1 or 2, depending on the length of your paper, but your paper should not all be quotations. That's not how to get around, okay, not plagiarizing. No, a effective writer is a person who knows how to synthesize what they read, interpret it, and then share it back to you in a different way. And the best way to do that is through paraphrasing. And then also paying attention to paragraph structure. So here's some tips on writing great paragraphs. So you want to make sure you're writing one topic focused paragraphs. Sometimes when I'm reading research, I see students have like 4 different topics within one paragraph. Remember, a paragraph is anywhere from 4 to 8 to 10 sentences long. An effective writer knows how to command the use of words and put them together in a way where it shares a story. And so having one topic paragraphs and transitional sentences allows you to be able to pivot in your paper. Also, include paper headings, give structure. Now, this is where the APA formatting comes into place. And then do know that if you're not comfortable with APA writing, you need to get comfortable as a healthcare graduate student or even doctoral student, because this is the writing style that we use, and it's common across many industries, not just healthcare. Health sciences, social sciences, behavioral sciences, they all use APA as a writing style. Every industry has its writing style. For us, it's APA. And then here are some writing resources that I would love to give to you to help you in your writing journey, because I think this is really instrumental. So Grammarly, I swear by Grammarly. It is one of the best things that they could ever provide for writers. Grammarly is on point, and it's like an editing software at a very cheap rate. Very cheap rate. Instead of hiring an editor to read your paper, Grammarly is pretty much doing the work for you. You still have to have a great mastery of writing principles, but for the most part, Grammarly gives you some options to make sure that they're editing your paper effectively. Scribbr is another resource that can help you with your citations and even doing some editing, but you pay them to do that, and I don't recommend that just yet. Grammarly is the name of the game. Your reference manager, so your citations manager, can use Mendely. RefWorks is another one. BibleWorks is another one that comes to my mind. Google Connected Papers, if you use this software, because remember, research leaves clues. If you use Google Connected Papers, it can find you articles in alignment to the article or the topic that you're looking to investigate. Hemingway Readability. So that's a software to tell you how well your paper is written, the readability of your paper. And Grammarly does this too, but if you have access to Hemingway, it's perfect. The TDLR Chrome extension. So if you download this extension and you find articles, it will find all articles and give you stats and what other people have written about these articles, because I'm here to equip you with the tools and resources you need to get that A paper. And then use SafeAssign and Turnitin. I don't understand why people don't use SafeAssign, especially as a student. It's given to you for free. And if your paper, when you submit most of the time, and Blackboard is automatically going to do a Turnitin or SafeAssign score, but you also as a student from your university, they give you the option to run your plagiarism check first before submitting. So that is all that I have for now. And once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope my tips were really helpful to you in your writing process. If you're like a person that struggle with writing, that's okay. You can get better at it. It's not something that you have to stay there. It's practice makes perfect. The more you practice writing, the more you watch videos like this to help you with your writing, the better it will become for you. So make sure to like, subscribe, and share this with a fellow student or a fellow professional who's in the writing journey. And until next time, bye for now.